Hey, you guys. Welcome to day 3 of the Stop Sabotaging Challenge, where we talk about how your subconscious works, how it wants you to be the environmental average, and how your environment, your friendships, your media all impact you on a cellular level. In fact, on Thursday night, so tomorrow night, we are going to do a deep dive into your nervous system, how your nervous system can keep you stuck in chaos or bring you into the world of dreams. And so be sure to register for that live webinar. It'll be on Zoom and posted into the group for tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So needless to say, if you've got any questions about sabotaging, post them in the comments. Let me know where you're from, why you're here, what big goals you have for 2024, and what you think the biggest hangup is for you. Is it you get excited to start, but then you stop and you don't see that it's possible? So it feels so far away and you kind of give up. Or maybe there's too many priorities. And if there's so many priorities, then nothing's a priority. What is it for you that keeps you spinning your wheels? And we'll talk through that today. And so today's content was all about identifying the media that we are consuming. And when we think about this, we can start to identify the media that relaxes us, puts us in that Zen moment, you know what I mean? Or the media that triggers our senses and we go into tense fight or flight mode. Our thoughts are racing, our muscles are tense, our heart is racing, our stomach's in knots. Like, what are the things that we are doing that put us in the state of fear? And then what are the things that we are doing that put us in the state of calm and peace? Because your body can only live in one or two places: in the world of drama, which is the fight or flight mode, or the world of dreams, which is in this rest and digest mode. And out of those two states, birth thoughts, actions, and emotions, both of them taking you in a completely different place. So with that being said, I am going to bring on our next guest. She is currently a support coach in 90-Day U-Turn, which means she completed 3 months of the program herself and is now coming back to act as a support coach and support others in the process. And I can't wait to hear her experience so far. So big welcome to Patricia.
Hey!
Yay. Is there a waterfall behind you?
There is.
That's so zen.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here and being willing to share your experience. I'd love to hear a bit about what life was like before you started 90-Day U-Turn.
Chaos. My brain was chaos a lot. My relationships were struggling. Didn't feel happy. Was just frustrated. Didn't know the next step. I knew I wanted more, and I had all these dreams, and I just didn't know how to get there. Did not know how to get there. So I felt very frustrated most of the time.
Right. So it was like you're doing things you don't want to do. You're kind of in chaos or grouchy mode, which impacts your relationships, which impacts everything. And so
Right.
when you say you were in chaos, could you tell? Was your body feeling it? Were your thoughts feeling it?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts, I felt triggered just all the time. Just things were just constantly bothering me. I felt like nothing was right. I just felt unhappy. And so it was affecting my outward disposition
Yeah.
towards everybody. And so that my mind felt like chaos, but I felt like on the outside, I was trying to smile and, keep it all together. Um, but the more my brain felt chaotic and my nervous system felt chaotic, I just thought, I don't know what to do. And I got kind of just in freeze mode. I wasn't
Yeah.
even flight or fly. I was just like, ugh, I don't know how to do anything. So I just kind of didn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you said two important things. Number one, you felt triggered all the time
Mhm.
and like kind of in that state of like,
Yeah.
and when you feel triggered all of the time, oftentimes we're like, if that were different, then I'd feel better. If
Hmm.
this changed, then I would be happy or whatever.
Yes.
And so it can give a lot of external things power.
Right.
But then the second thing you said is Now I lost my train of thought. What I don't remember. I'll keep talking. We'll come back to it. But
Sure.
you said your thoughts and your nervous system were kind of always on edge. And okay, this is where I was going with that. Instead of it being fight or flight, you were in freeze,
Yeah.
which meant
Yeah.
stand still.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
It meant that kind of means to me like stand still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I kind of got to where I was just like going to work, coming home, putting on my PJs, just doing nothing. I was just like, this is kind of what life is like, even though I had all these dreams in my heart of what I wanted and I just wanted more. And I just felt like, you know what, maybe life is just routine and this
Yeah.
is what we're going to do. But that drive in me was just so much deeper that I finally was, said, okay, I don't know, let's figure this out.
And so you said yes to 90 Day U-Turn and the certification program.
Good.
And so I'd love to hear a bit about how what you experienced in your first 3 months going through 90 Day U-Turn first.
Um, a complete transformation. I mean, within the first 3 weeks, I had completely changed my mindset on just small daily habits and not having to perfect them all. I had always been in perfectionism mode. I'd hired a nutritionist at one point in time. I'd hired a trainer and physical, and on those aspects, it was just like I had to do it perfect, or I didn't want to do it at all. And in the first 3 weeks, I learned it was okay if it wasn't perfect. Okay, I didn't drink enough water today, or I didn't make it to the gym, but I always was able to pick up and do the small. I learned how to do it in small steps
Yeah.
and be okay with that.
Yeah.
And then that took me into, the next few weeks of dreaming. I thought, you know what, I did have these dreams and these sparks, and they can be real. And so it was kind of all put in a digestible form for
Yeah.
me instead of just feeling so big that I couldn't overcome it. And then just having the community support. I had never experienced anything like having a community in something like this. Um, and that just made it feel real. It was like, these people are real. They have a real life and kids and grandkids, and that was really special to me, developing those bonds. And it just made the transformation even more amazing. My relationships with my kids have improved. My relationship with my significant other improved. Felt happy. Been more productive in my 9 to 5 for right now. um, so yeah, just my complete mind shift changed.
Amazing. And it doesn't have to take long. I think that's a fascinating piece of the process. Within 3 weeks, you went from always apologizing, always feeling behind, always feeling like you weren't up to par, to
Yeah.
being like, it's okay. And I got
Mhm.
this. And when I get done, I get done. And I don't need to always be thinking that I need to be doing or being somebody
Right.
else.
Yeah. That's exactly how it was. I took one step and just learned, hey, let's work on this habit this week. Hey, let's do
Yeah.
this. And then it turned out where I wasn't even thinking about it anymore. So I wasn't twisting that perfectionism on everything I was doing. And I mean, I couldn't believe how fast I did that. And so then I was really able to kind of immerse myself in the tools in the program and learning the tools on when I felt chaotic on a day. We're human, it
Yeah.
happens. But then I had the tools to fall back onto. I had a support coach. I had you, and I had the weekly meeting that said, hey, this is where I'm at. And I would leave the weekly meeting just feeling like,
It's like a breath
okay,
of fresh air for your
yeah,
soul, isn't it?
yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. And so it just rejuvenated me. I could speak about the work we had done, the good things, and I didn't even focus on the negative anymore. It just was like, okay, that didn't go right. And one thing I learned, and that I don't even think I've ever shared with you, is I caught myself every time I said a negative in the day. I always made myself say a positive about that. Like, okay.
Awesome.
And that completely just transformed. And I don't really remember when in the program I started doing that. I feel like it was pretty early on. And it just helped me look at everything in such a different space, a different, lens.
Yeah.
And that was really because I had kind of always been negative.
Yeah. Well, what I'm hearing you say is you within the first few weeks you had a perspective shift,
Mhm.
which meant your habits were a little bit shifted, which was taking you in a different direction, but your self-talk was also shifted, which
Oh.
was taking you in a different direction. And now those habits and that self-talk becomes more normal.
Mhm.
And what I love about that, it becomes who you be. And as those habits become more normal, then you get to elevate and add on
Mhm.
new more like other healthy habits or other
Yeah.
thought patterns and other shifts
Mhm.
that continue. We call them releasing those onion layers, right? Like you can continue
Yes.
to grow. And now you're a support coach in
Yes.
90 Day U-Turn as a part of the certification program. What do you love about supporting other people through this process?
Um, I think my favorite thing is as much as I'm supporting them, I learned from them. Um, just seeing it through a different lens, really, and seeing their aha moments. It just fills my soul. When I see their aha moment, I see them think, it just is, I don't even know how to describe how that feels. It just like it makes you feel like, oh, this is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
This is what my purpose is. And it makes that dream just feel so real and so genuine. The process of it just feels so genuine and
Yeah.
heartfelt. And I just love that. And then hearing them talk, though, also makes me dig into myself. So I feel like I'm constantly growing out of what I'm giving. I'm growing and giving at the same time,
Yeah.
which is really,
Absolutely.
really cool. Yeah, really cool.
Well, it's one thing to have like a shift yourself, right? Within a few weeks, you felt your own shift and you have blossomed. Like we've all seen it. You know what I mean? We were able to watch you transform.
Uh,
But then to go back and be on a partner with someone else going through it and to see them experience similar aha moments and growth opportunities and to be on a journey with them as a coach is a priceless
mm,
opportunity. And it really
oh,
just builds confidence in your coaching. It also builds confidence in the content because
yeah,
it's not just me who loves it, like your
yeah,
clients love it too and they're
yeah.
experiencing growth as well.
It's really powerful. It's very powerful. I think one of my biggest, hardest things in deciding on the certification program was imposter syndrome. Was how or why would anybody listen to me? And when I changed my mind shift on that, and that it's not all about me, it completely changed the confidence level and how my coaching sessions went. And I think that was really cool to
Yeah.
squash that,
Yeah.
just squash the imposter syndrome.
Absolutely. It's a normal part of the process, but we don't need to stay there long, right? Because in the certification program, you learn what to do and what to say to clients. It's really all about them and their experience. It's not about you at all. You're just creating the atmosphere for their growth, and you've got all the tools to do that. So let's say somebody's listening and they're like, I feel stuck. I feel like where you were 3 months ago. Um, where do you like, and we got a good question here I'll ask for sure from Christina. Do you recommend 90 Day U-Turn for people who are not interested in becoming coaches? And so we'll answer that. What would you say to somebody like Christina who maybe is feeling
Uh,
stuck or insecure and just doesn't know what she wants to do next? She's in that transition point. What would you say?
oh, I would say absolutely yes. These are tools. The 90-day U-turn program isn't necessarily geared towards just being a coach. It would be geared towards any type of goal you had. It just wouldn't matter. It's just daily tools to help shift your mind, your perspectives, the tools to help regulate your nervous system, which I didn't have before 90-day U-turn. And the community is, I mean, it's so powerful. It is so powerful, and you don't get. I couldn't find that in programs. I searched for weeks and didn't find that. So, I would say absolutely yes, because you'll master anything you want to with a 90-day U-turn if you just dive into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Christina, good question. 90 Day U-Turn was not created necessarily for coaches. It was created for clients. And then as I started doing it, people would say, how can I do what you do? I want to do what you do. And so then we created the certification program and coaches learn how to facilitate 90 Day U-Turn. But 90 Day U-Turn itself is a 3-month transformational program. I call it a loving kick in the right direction. And so coaches learn the content so they then can utilize it with their own clients. But it's open for normal people who are going through life and want support and skills, are ready to level up. They want to bust through their own personal glass ceiling. And as a clinical psychologist turned dream life coach, it's all my favorite exercises all in one place. Like every week, I'm like, this is my favorite week. And it's true. Like every week is so good. Tons of aha moments throughout the weeks. Do you have a favorite week that was kind of your like mind blowing?
Week 5, I think it was, about the just kind of what do you want? Was that week 5?
Yeah.
Or it was week 5. Just actually discovering what I really wanted. And which really I can't say I had to do with coaching. It was really my own personal. I never looked at what I wanted. I'm 45, raised 4 kids, and I didn't know what I wanted. And when I actually dug deep, I couldn't believe all the things that I wanted, personally and spiritually and just everywhere. I was like, okay. That was the most. I had kind of mastered some tools and then got to like, okay, this is what I want. And it really didn't have to do with the coaching.
Yeah.
It was just all personal. And that was powerful for me.
And then your spark is lit, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, game on, here we go. And you feel like you know where you're going towards. You know what I mean? I think oftentimes I hear from people, I don't really know what I want. I just know I don't want to be here anymore. Like I'm ready for something fresh and new. I'm ready for growth, but they don't quite know how. And so a couple of big things you've said is it helped you to learn how to regulate your nervous system and your self-talk to live in the world of dreams versus that chaos that was like always feeling triggered. You also said you've gained clarity for what it is that you want that increases motivation and excitement about life in general. And then the community of support ensures that you actually follow through.
Right. Yes. The camaraderie and the accountability. And I think I'd always thought of accountability as almost a negative, like somebody babying me or having to hold my hand. And that didn't feel like that. I had a personal trainer before as far as like health and fitness. And I'd always just felt like I was just this child and they were telling me do this. And I loved having a group of other women, just their accountability looked like support. Or ideas, or I don't really know, but I just love you. Like I'm proud of you. And it was just such a different type of accountability and support than I've ever experienced in 45 years of life.
Yeah, I love it. And in 90 Day U-Turn, everybody gets a chance to talk because as a therapist, right, I'm like, we're not just going to listen to a video and our life be changed. If that were true, we would all be there because there's so much information on YouTube, right? It really is about listening to the content and having those aha moments, but then also writing about your own life and then also having a space to talk about it. So we go into breakout rooms where everybody gets a chance to speak. And this is really important. I think we don't have these conversations with people in the grocery store. And there's something actually safer about having these conversations with people who are not in your normal everyday circle, because you're not going to run into them at the grocery store. And so it feels like a safe place to talk about real life stuff. And then you also realize that like we all have stuff and you're not alone in this. And we all have, stuff that's happened in our life. So we've got a few comments here. Christina said, that's where I'm at. What do I want to do next? Yes. If you're looking for clarity, in 90 Day U-Turn, I teach the Dream Life Pathway, head, heart, feet. Do you know what you want? Do you believe it's possible? Do you know how to go get it? And so we do a lot of clarity exercises in the first few weeks, really relighting your spark, helping you to kind of figure that out. Like, what do I really want next? What are my priorities? What is important to me now? And we go through so many different seasons of life, right? That at every new season, we kind of want to do this work and ask ourselves again. So we'll be doing that type of stuff in the first 4 to 5 weeks. We have another comment that says, I'm at the point where my emotions are coming out physically and I need that loving kick. Yes. That reminds me to what Patricia said of kind of always feeling triggered. When we're living at an 8 or 9, like it doesn't take much, like we could drop a spoon and be like, bah, the world is over. And so we want to get our nervous system down so we're not living in chronic stress, but also have the thought tools to keep ourselves grounded and focused on what's important. And you guys, if it were easy, we'd already be doing it. And so learning the skills in a positive focused community is way more effective than trying to figure this out on your own.
Yeah, Denise, I'll add in, I had tried other, not exactly programs like this, not really necessarily good, but I had tried other programs. Like, I had tried a personal trainer, I tried a nutritionist, I had tried just going to therapy. I've been in therapy, I'm still in therapy. But this was, it wrapped everything up in a bow for me, and it gave me that clarity to make my feet say, this is the next step. And I took action just with the 90-day U-turn. I actually took action on what I was learning, and that's something I never did. And I didn't stay consistent. Anything else I tried, I didn't stay consistent. I stopped, I started, I stopped, I started, I stopped. And then having that group every week, and developing even friendships outside of that group that I can reach out to throughout the week has been really cool, because I've just got that accountability and support all the time.
Right. We will do way more when we know people are watching and care. Yeah. I think that's the thing. We're not sitting here going, did you do it yet? Did you do whatever you said? But we actually care. And we were like, how are things going? What's going on? Tell me more. And so we will level up just being in a community that supports like that.
Yeah.
Another comment is, coming through a significant life change, and thankfully I'm not in dire straits, but I do need to find a sense of my purpose. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great place, Christina. We have a life purpose week where we have a life purpose meditation and a life purpose statement exercise that we go through to help, because then that kind of becomes your compass, right? Your GPS. Like, is this in alignment with my goals? Is this taking me where I want to go? To help our yeses be strong yeses and our no's be strong no's, and not be in wishy-washy land all the time. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on live with us today. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing your experience.
So fun.
What would you say to somebody who is on the fence but feels like they need 90-day U-turn themselves?
Jump. Book a call with Denise and jump. Trust the process. Jump and trust the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's powerful content that will impact you for not just 3 months, but years to come. So if you're interested, come at my turn. I'll reach out. Let's chat. We'll see if this is a good fit for you. Our next round starts April 23rd on Tuesdays, and we would love to have you. So thank you again, Patricia, for your time today. Have an awesome, awesome day, and we'll see you guys.
Thank you, Denise. Bye-bye. Bye.